I don't know where to start. There's a lot to update on. We are coming up on about a month away from completing our first year of trading here at Forge Valley Roasters, and we have made the big decision to go all in on this, and we are going to open a coffee shop. The Forge Valley Roasters FVR Brew Bar is going to be opening in early November in a village one over from us towards the coast called Sema, and it's a bigger business, but I'll get into the details of that later on. So we're just one component of it. It's been a really busy couple of months, and obviously we've known about this for a little while now, and we've just been sorting out the finer details, but we're ready to start talking about it and sharing all the details. So one thing I want to ask at the start of this video is, as we grow the channel over the next few months, what would you like to hear about more? Do you want to know a little bit more about the coffee shop, or do you want to know more about the roasting? I've only got so much time in the week, so it would be good to understand what you guys think and what you would find interesting. So let me know in the comments down below. So first things first, I'll give a quick update on the Roastery and where we're at with that. So as I mentioned earlier, about a month away from completing our first trading year, and rather poetically, all of the coffees that we launched with, or at least, started selling in the first few months of the business, are now coming to an end. So our Colombia and our Ethiopia, and those two combined to make our Hinderwell blend, we're now down to the last 10 kilos, give or take, and they won't be coming back anytime soon. You saw in my previous video, if you haven't watched it yet, go check it out, us selecting our new coffees. So we've chosen 3 new coffees and a 4th, which I'll come on to in a minute, but 3 new mainline coffees to replace the outgoing ones. We have one from Honduras, one from Rwanda, and one from Uganda. They're all natural processed, all high rated specialty coffees. We will look to launch those over autumn or fall if you're in the States, and certainly before Christmas, and we'll be opening the coffee shop with those, of course. And our 4th coffee, which is launching at the end of this month, a bit of a special one, is a decaf, and we're very excited about this. It's a sugarcane process natural Colombian coffee, and it's absolutely fantastic. I couldn't be more excited to start roasting this and getting it out to people to try. We will also be combining our Colombia decaf with our current bestseller Brazilian single origin to make a half calf blend. And we'll be doing this in collaboration with a local business in Wycombe called Barbless Flies, who sell fishing supplies, as you might imagine. So 4 new coffees, 3 main lines, 1 decaf, and then a new blend, which is a half calf. This will all be launching in the next few months, so keep your eyes peeled for emails or the website. Beyond this, we have been working diligently on the coffee shop project. Why did we choose to open a coffee shop? A few reasons, mainly opportunity meeting ambition, I think, in simple terms. The surprising thing is that we found out about this opportunity through TikTok. We have a very small TikTok channel. We haven't been very active there, as I've been focusing on the YouTube content, as you well know. And I never expected to get a business lead there, but hey presto, somebody local to us found us on TikTok, reached out to us via DM, and said, look, I'm thinking about opening up a business. I want to come and chat to you guys. So this was back in late spring, I think, or early summer. And we met Adrian. That's the guy that's opening up the business in Sema. We had a great chat, got along really, really well. And we thought maybe there's something in this idea. The concept is that it's going to be a food hall. And that means it's going to be a business, quite a large square meterage, that's going to have a few other businesses in there. I'm not going to give spoilers just yet, because that's down to Adrian to announce those, or at least tell us when we can, and we'll talk more about it. But we're going to be one of many, is the point. And Forge Valley Roasters, or the FBR Brew Bar as we're calling it, is going to take up quite a large chunk of the space actually. So it will be a mainline offering in there with our specialty coffees and food, which I'll cover later on in a separate video. I did a little bit of research before coming to this decision, and I'll share some facts and figures with you, which you might find interesting as well. Looking at other comparable markets to the UK, and I picked Australia and the US because they're very similar culturally, language, etc. Australia is one of the most advanced, saturated coffee markets in the world. There are others out there, but at least in comparison to the UK. And they spend, as of 2023, in the numbers that I could find, about $406 per capita, so that's per person in the country, per year, on coffee. And that's just coffee beans. It does technically include instant coffee as well, but that's probably a smaller number. I couldn't get any more granular than that. The US, in comparison, works out to about $253 per capita, per person in the country. And then looking at the UK, as of 2023, we're only at about $155 per capita. So the UK has quite a long way to go before it catches up with the amount of money that the average person in the US and Australia spends on coffee. And if we look at Australia alone, a very long way before the UK catches up with it. So outside of this local business opportunity, I think there's a huge opportunity in the UK in coffee in general. Of course I believe that, and that's why we opened up a roastery in the first place. If you're thinking about opening your own cafe or your own roaster, reach out to me, leave me a comment below. Happy to share a little bit more of my research and the numbers that led me to the conclusion to this being a good idea. Or wait a few months and you can see if I was right or wrong, depending on how the coffee shop goes. We found that of all the things requested of us as a roaster when we go to these events and people that send us emails or messages on social media, the number one thing that people recommend is a decaf coffee. But number two, and close number two, is a physical shop or a location. We're still a month away from me being able to share a full year one completion video with all the stats and figures. But spoiler alert, I think one of the biggest challenges that we found as a micro roasters starting here is that without a physical location and a way for people to interact with us, to try the coffee perhaps, it's very difficult to grow. All of it is through word of mouth or online digital marketing. And that's really challenging. We found that when we sell our coffee without people being able to try it first somewhere, we're completely dependent on the experience that they have at home. And a coffee shop will allow us to make the best version of our coffees that we possibly can and let that be the first experience that somebody has with it, while also growing just a great standalone coffee shop in our local area as well. We face many challenges over the next 6 or 7 weeks prior to opening, not least all of the equipment, setting up accountancy, payroll, hiring some staff, doing the training, getting accreditations, registering as a food business, and following all the other steps that I've listed in previous videos about how we open the roastery. But just as a little bit of a teaser, I'll tell you that we're currently thinking, I say currently thinking, almost certainly going to put into the coffee shop a VA Eagle One 2-group espresso machine. That will be our main driver. And then we're looking for grinders at the minute. We're stuck between using the VA Mythos grinder or the Malconic, which is very popular and you see in a lot of specialty coffee shops. Probably going to do 3 grinders so that we can at all times serve a house coffee, a specialty which will rotate, and then a decaf as well. We want to create as much margin for ourselves on the production of coffee as we can, and we're already off to a great start because we own the roasters that supplies the coffee, of course, and control the prices and the product that go into the coffee shop. but we want to save as much money as possible to spend it on labour and investing in the people that are going to work for us to have a great job, enjoy what they do, be able to take it seriously, stay with us for a long time, and then pass all of that good feeling through to the customers and the products that they're producing. That means we're trying to remove extraneous overhead that isn't required. For example, we're exploring using a grind by weight grinder, meaning that the dose of coffee is weighed by the grinder and automatically shuts off the grind to hit the target amount. Gravimetrics in the espresso machine so that the machine will calculate the exact yield that you set. That won't eliminate the need for a barista to create the recipe for the espressos themselves based on what they think is best, but it will eliminate some of the needless wastage and labour overheads that stack up when you're making coffee after coffee after coffee after coffee, month after month. In terms of the journey so far, creating the coffee shop and getting it open, where are we at? First, we had a design session. This was with Adrian and a interior design agency that specialises in commercial spaces and coffee shops. And that's where we laid out the overall floor plan of the business and what we were intending to do and how we're intending to run the operation and what equipment we would therefore need and where things might be laid out and so on. After we did the design meeting, then we moved on to getting the space ready. Now, Adrian owns the whole business and then will rent a part of it out to us. So we're going to pay a rent to the space that we're using in the coffee shop, a bit like how a Selfridges or a department store would work. So we're a concession location within the bigger business. We're aiming to be putting in our coffee machine and associated equipment around about mid-October. Then myself and Tash are off for our SCA Intermediate Barista qualification in October as well, and then we should be training and setting up the business in earnest towards the end of October before launching in November. Oh, one thing that's also happening, we engaged a creative design agency. Up until now, everything that we've been doing in the business has been homegrown. Myself or Tash have designed the labels, the packaging, the logos, you name it. We figured as we're going to start investing even more in public signage and having a physical location, that maybe it would make sense to take a step back and get the graphic design evolved and more consistent than it is currently. That work is well underway now, so keep your eyes peeled and you might be seeing a slightly revised logo, colour schemes across the website, the social media, etc. over the next couple of months. That's it. I'll stop. That's probably a lot to consume right now. Let me know in the comments what else you want to hear about. Do you want me to be making more about the coffee shop or more about the roastery over the next couple of months? I could go either way, but I probably don't have time for both. So tell me what you think. Other than that, thank you for staying with me this long if you're still here. If you are, don't forget to give me a like and a subscribe. That helps me grow the channel and tells me if what I'm doing is a good thing and if this is good content or not. And with that, I will see you next time. Take care.